Universal Land Resort has many attractions. Most of them are great, but today I'm going to be talking about the cancelled attractions and what they would have been inside Islands of Adventure. Starting off with DC Super Island, which is what would have been Marvel Super Island. So it was originally supposed to be DC Super Island in the concepts. I'll put up some stuff. But now it's Marvel Super Island because DC couldn't actually get the rights. Universal couldn't get the rights to DC. And in my opinion, I still absolutely love having the Marvel there. But let's check out what would have pretty much been there. Starting off with a Batman Batcar Dark Ride. So DC Super Island and the Star Attraction would have been a Batcar Dark Ride. Well, was it the Star Attraction? I don't really know. You'll speed through Gotham, drift around corners, and blast through the infamous Axis Chemicals, which is the place, or the iconic place where Jack Napier became Joker in the 1989 Batman movie. So this ride ended up being the first casualty of the DC plan due to the fact that next was the Batman vs. Penguin coaster. It was like a dueling coaster, and you could pick a side. It was a lot like Dueling Dragons. Matter of fact, it's pretty much identical. You would be able to pick a side just like being able to pick, you could either pick Batman and go in one of his suspended ride roller coaster thing, or you could pick Penguin. So this ride also had pyrotechnics and dark ride kind of sets, so this would have been an amazing ride in my opinion. But from the sound of it, it also sounds a lot like Dueling Dragons, so it would have been a little bit repetitive. Then there is the Superman ride. That sounds a little bit familiar. So Universal also proposed a Superman motion-based dark ride, essentially a prototype version of what later became The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. It is almost identical. Think New York as Metropolis, think Spider-Man as Superman, and think the Sinister Syndicate as Lex Luthor, and boom, you have a Superman dark ride. It's pretty much the exact same. I love the Spider-Man dark ride, so I'm pretty happy it became Spider-Man. Next is Toon Lagoon and Jurassic Park. First, before we get into that, there was another attraction, which was the Joker's Madhouse. And this would have been an indoor roller coaster, and the queue would have been full of gags and jokes and, Joker stuff. And it would have been kind of a big thing about Islands of Adventure at one point, which none of it actually happened, is there was a lot of the one villain ride and then a superhero ride. And then, I don't know how to explain it. But, yeah. I'll explain. You'll see it again in Toon Lagoon. In Toon Lagoon, starting off, we had originally there was a Rocky the Flying Squirrel coaster. Toon Lagoon was originally meant to be much bigger due to the park being a cartoon themed originally. That was the original plan for Islands of Adventure. But it didn't end up happening due to just the fact that they kind of scrapped the idea of it being a full cartoon world, and Jay Ward still has a little bit of his stuff in the park, like he has the Dudley Do-Right Bristol Falls ride, but again, we didn't get all of the cartoon stuff. Then there would have been a Popeye dark ride. So we all know Popeye and Bluto. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the ride. It's Popeye's water ride. I'm just going to call it that. We all know that. It was originally called, Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges. That's the name. Originally, it was just going to be called Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges, and there was going to be a Popeye dark ride. Again, with the villain and then the superhero thing, that's what I was talking about before, and how it was Joker and Batman and Bluto and Popeye, whatever. So Popeye ended up getting scrapped because, they just wanted to have, again, with the cartoon themes, it wasn't going to be that big. In the park, they kind of decided on. But, there was originally going to be a Popeye dark ride. And a lot of the scenes have now been used in the Popeye and Bluto Build Rat barges, so it was also going to be very similar. Next is the Jurassic Park land. So in Jurassic Park, there's going to be a lot. So firstly, there's going to be the Jeep Safari attraction inspired by the T-Rex attack scene, but once River Adventure took shape, it was considered too similar. Then there was Raptor Races, which is a wooden-shaped coaster, a wooden dinosaur skeleton-shaped coaster, and Universal need more thrills for this land, but the concept never got approved by Universal themselves. Then there was the Helicopters, which would have been a lot like Soarin'. It was like a Soarin'-styled simulator inside a tall building crowned with a helicopter. Guests would glide over dinosaur paddocks until pteranodons would suddenly attack them. And the craziest part, this Jurassic Park ride never happened. So, yeah. Next would have been the Looney Tunes land, again, with the cartoon. Was going to be very big in this park, but there was originally going to be a Duck Dodgers space adventure. So this would have been a Space Mountain style ride with Daffy Duck and Marvin the Martian. Then there would have been a Roadrunner vs. Wile E. Coyote coaster, which would have been racing through the desert with a lot of like desert-themed backgrounds in this land. Again, with Warner Brothers, this never got approved. DC and both the Looney Tunes never got approved. It could be because they wanted to use it themselves in their own like theme park. I think they have a theme park in Australia and Spain. But yeah. Then there was also the Van Helsing ride. This would have been where Hogsmeade is. So in a way, it's good that this never happened because, yeah. So Van Helsing had just made a new movie. Universal just made a new Van Helsing movie. And they thought, hey, why not we make a dark ride based on the movie? The system would have been similar to Harry Potter and Forbidden Journey. And it, would have set exactly where Hogsmeade is today. Van Helsing, the movie, kind of was a flop, to be honest, as it got a lot of criticizing in a bad way, and it didn't end up happening, and the idea kind of died. Honestly, cancellation gave us Wizarding World. I'm pretty happy it got cancelled. Then in the Seuss Landing, they had something called the Noisarium, which is an interactive instrument playing area. Don't quite know. It was never clear why this got cancelled, but it just did. Then there was going to be a Grinch family coaster, also in Seuss Landing, on Mount Crumpet, which they would have made a big Mount Crumpet towering over Seuss Landing. This was cancelled because of the fact that the Grinch was considered too seasonal. Honestly, I really wish that they didn't cancel this. I think this would have been a great idea for a ride, and I don't know, it's just overall, it would have been a great idea for a ride, and a lot of people like the Grinch, and even though he isn't used as much in, like summer than in Christmas time, because it's the Grinch, I do think it still would have been a great idea for a family coaster, and you never know, they might still add the Grinch family coaster one day, and I think it would be a great idea. So that is really it for the video. I will probably be making a second part being Universal Studios Florida. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to cue the outro in 2 seconds so you can see the end screen. If you did enjoy this video as well, check out these videos that are about to be up. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Hope you have a great rest of your day.